So as we ready for a season of Test cricket at home now for India against South Africa, the three-match Test series that will continue India's campaign in the World Test Championship and see South Africa try and get some points there too. Ajit Agarkar with me on ESPN Cricket Info Match Day. There's a re-entry to someone you couldn't think wasn't a regular in the 11. That's R. Ashwin, not too far back India's Test vice captain. So Ashwin comes in as the second spinner. You'd think that would happen in home conditions.
Yeah, I thought it was a bit harsh on Ashwin not to play in West Indies, not to start the series for sure. I know it's just 2 games, but it was a little bit harsh. I thought you'd expect him to come back. I mean, his record in India is just phenomenal. Ravindra Jadeja has done a job, but again, you saw in the West Indies, he's not really had a heaps of wickets.
Yeah.
And those two are formidable in India. So you'd expect Ashwin to come back. I can't imagine 2 left-arm spinners, even though Kuldeep's not really a left-arm spinner, he's different, more a wrist spinner, but you expect these two to play. And Bumrah's the one who's missing, that's why, one of Ishant Sharma or Shami otherwise probably would have sat out.
Right, and the other interesting confirmation that came from Virat Kohli on the eve of the Test is that he's decided he's going to have a change in glovesmen. So the West Indies series showed us he has a new preference in a frontline spinner. Now the South Africa series is showing us that the Indian captain has gone to Riddhiman Saha ahead of Rishabh Pant. Thoughts?
Yeah, it seems like Rishabh Pant bashing month or something of that sort. It's I'm a little bit surprised, to be honest. Look, Saha's an excellent glovesman. I think he's probably India's still best wicketkeeper. We'll have to wait and see if that's still the case because he hasn't played for a while. But he was when he lost his spot in the team or was injured for a while.
This is days after Ravi Shastri said he's going to back him to the hill, and he's got a Test average of nearly 45, playing most of his cricket away. If we keep looking at his ODI and T20 numbers and saying he's not doing justice, he is doing justice in this format. So,
like I said, you're getting a superb wicketkeeper from the last time that we saw Saha play, which was quite a while back. But that can't be a reason for suddenly Pant to lose his spot. For average is over 40 at this point in Test
45.
cricket in his shortish career. Was a part of a successful team in Australia. Got 100 in Australia and England, which no other wicketkeeper in Indian history has done. So
can't do much more than that.
Yeah, it's a bit harsh.
Saha was part of the West Indies squad, and Pant was preferred. Now you've picked Saha again for the start of the home series. Is it also a case of India being secure enough of their batting that they may not need Rishabh Pant, the batsman, as much as?
I think there's enough batting there. That could be one of the reasons. If I was in Rishabh Pant's shoes, I'd feel hard done by. There's no doubt about it. Not to say that Saha is good or bad. Saha had done his bit in Test cricket, particularly with the gloves. So we'll have to wait and see. And the other thing is, I don't think Rishabh Pant's played enough cricket in India to say whether he's a good glovesman or a bad glovesman. So,
he's not enough Test cricket. Certainly not enough long-form cricket.
Sometimes because they trust their batting enough, or they have enough, or 6 batters. Maybe that's the case, but I think it's still tough on Rishabh Pant, a young player like him.
But let's go to the man who's taking the headlines in terms of the build-up to this series. And Rohit Sharma, for all his prolific run-getting as a white ball player, has always had that one asterisk against his name on how he's not been able to manage to ace the Test format. We're looking at India's openers, Ajit, in recent times in Test match cricket. So clearly there is a position. In some ways, will Prithvi Shaw continuing to be on the sidelines? KL Rahul recently dropped. Shikhar Dhawan doesn't enjoy the same regularity in Test cricket. Murali Vijay doesn't seem to be in favour either. And they have tried Bihari and Parthiv Patel as interim measures. What is the feeling? You've known Rohit Sharma for long enough, seen him play long enough. As a Test opener, getting a low score in the only game that he would have before this series, there could be a little bit of pressure on Rohit in this series on a make or break sort of way for Test cricket.
Yeah, I'm sure there'll be pressure because, but it's a lifeline for him really in Test cricket. I think anyone who's been around Indian cricket always hoped that Rohit Sharma has a great career because of the ability that he's had over his career. Unfortunately, it hasn't quite happened. There's been too much stop-start throughout his Test career. It's a real lifeline, and probably the best conditions to bat as well. I mean, there's unlikely to be any sort of seam movement or a lot of swing on offer. There might perhaps be a little bit of reverse swing later on in the game. It'll be a tough challenge because there's some real quality in that South African new ball bowling attack with Rabada and Philander in particular with their experience. So it won't be easy.
The two names Ajit mentions, for Philander and Rabada, are bowlers that have got Rohit Sharma 3 times each in Test cricket, so he doesn't enjoy a great average against them. And it will be the new ball with Vernon Philander and Kagiso Rabada. You'd expect that Rohit Sharma will face up. Now, he's not opened a lot in red ball cricket. Challenges, even though it is Indian, you do say it is the best place to bat, but the challenge is from having to adapt from a middle order red ball batsman to a top order, which is the other way around for him in white ball cricket.
Yeah, I mean, everyone keeps talking about Sehwag. I mean, Sehwag, okay, not too many guys have been able to do it as successfully as maybe a Sehwag did. So it obviously suggests it's a much bigger challenge than doing it in white ball cricket to a red ball. So that there's no going away from that. I mean, it's still a new hard ball. There's still some quality fresh bowlers at the top who will create enough opportunities to get wicket. You have to play according to the situation, ride that storm. Play a little bit differently, but still kind of stick to your own game that you know how. Experience is going to obviously matter because he hasn't done a lot of opening in red ball cricket. But like I said before, you can see the quality that he has. You can see how he molded his game in one-day cricket. A different proposition when there are no slips or no attacking fielders sometimes. But even so, the ball does a little bit, even if for a shorter period in one-day cricket. So it's a big challenge. I don't think it's as straightforward just because you're playing in India. It's a big challenge, and hopefully he can take this opportunity.
Yeah, we look at South Africa's squad ahead of this series now, and does it still have the same level of intimidation or threat that it would have when it had Hashim Amla as part of it, Dale Steyn, as well as AB de Villiers? There's still some test regulars. Ajit. Dean Elgar had a pretty good series when India were in South Africa.
Bowled well too.
Got one on the head, perhaps for his bowling. Fab du Plessis, Dennis De Bruyne. There is, of course, Aiden Markram, who's got runs in the build-up to this series. They've got a few debutants. There's a chance that Senuran Muthuswamy, the left-arm spinner, might play. Amol Mazumdar, who's our insider with the South African team now, seems to rate Muthuswamy quite highly. And other than that, the pace bowling arsenal looks good. Lungi Ngidi, Philander, Rabada, and if they play Anrich Nortje, they have an extra option there. So it does still look a good side.
Not at all. I mean, it is a good side. I think the bowling will. I don't think the bowling will have too many issues in these conditions. It's if they can bat well against the Indian spinners. That will probably dictate how South Africa will go in this series. I mean, you talk about those guys have had a bit of experience now. Even someone like Markram, he's been around the South African scene for a few years. But these are completely different conditions that they will encounter. We'll have to wait and see how the pitch behaves. But if it does take spin, it becomes a whole different challenge for guys who are not used to doing it. There is that experience with De Kock or Faf, Elgar, like you said. And I mean, it's pretty straightforward really. If they can bat well, they'll compete against India and make things difficult for India. But if they can't, it might be an easy series for them.
Yeah, historically, if the pitches have been competitive, you'd see that it has been a close series, whether in India or in South Africa. As we look at the last 5 series between these two teams, and how good was that series in South Africa that the hosts eventually won 2-1, India managing to clinch the 3rd test, but it was a well-contested series. South Africa, when they were in India in 2015-16, when the pitches were spoken of more than the cricket, it was a 3-0 win, like Ajit says, for India. If the bowlers have their day and South Africa's batsmen can't counter the spin. Otherwise, it's been close, 1-0, 1-1 and 1-1. So you would be hoping at least for a series that gives us a fair bit of balance between bat and ball.
Yeah, and I think India will start favourites, but I don't think there's such a massive gap if South Africa can bat well. I think the bowling still looks pretty good, and even in these conditions, sometimes even with a quick bowler, someone like a Rabada who's got the extra pace, can be difficult to face when the ball's a little bit keeps slow a little bit, or there's the pace is not consistent as the wickets sort of start to die down when the game progresses. So I think the bowling looks in decent shape. South Africa, it's their batting which might dictate how they go in this series.
All right, let's pick up this chat at the end of day 1. Many thanks, Ajit Agarkar. Get Ajit's thoughts through the course of this test match on ESPN Cricket for Matchday. The first test between India and South Africa starts on the 2nd of October in Visakhapatnam.